Today, I'm gonna show you the 3 pickleball shots you must have in order to compete with your competition in 2025. We've talked about how the game of pickleball is quickly changing and evolving. The game's getting faster and new strategies are coming into play naturally. It's important to evaluate our own game, making tweaks and improvements that will help us stay ahead. None of these shots are crazy difficult, but we definitely need to add them to our toolbox and learn the correct way to use them effectively. The first shot we're gonna be talking about today, in my opinion, is the most crucial moving into 2025, and that's having a strong counter volley. This can be a make or break for your game, and let me tell you why. As the game gets faster, players are playing way more aggressive. This means players are attacking and speeding up more. The best way to counteract this is by having the tools to shut down these attacks. If you have a strong counter volley, not only will it allow you to play more patiently, but it's also a very threatening feeling to your opponents. You want them to feel as if you're unattackable, which is going to keep them on edge and win you more points. So when I talk about having a good counter, the first thing I want us to think about is using the scanning technique. And so what the scanning technique is, after every time I dink, my paddle tip is going to be following wherever the ball goes. So if I play to the left side of Rex here, my paddle is going to turn this way. And if I dink to the right side, my paddle is going to follow this way. So here's an example. So if I hit to Rex's forehand here, my paddle is going to be shifted that way. And if I hit to Rex's backhand here, my paddle is going to be shifted this way. And so what this does is it allows me to be in the optimal position to be ready for a counter, as well as scanning for any attack. So if Rex leaves something high, my paddle is ready to attack. So it's called the scanning technique, and it's very important for keeping yourself in the optimal position for every single shot. So the second tip when having a strong counter volley is we want to have a really calm lower body while our upper body is what's reacting fast. So my lower body is going to be nice and strong here while my upper body is the one moving. A lot of times what I see when someone gets attacked is they jump or straighten their knees. So people fall back, people straighten their legs, or sometimes they even jump out of the way. What this does is it takes your body weight and it shifts it all over the place. So what happens when you shift your body weight is it disrupts having a clean contact point, which we don't want. We want to keep our lower body calm and our upper body fast. So let's see a few examples here. I'm going to be dinking with Rex, and Rex attacks me. And so my lower body is very still there, and it allows my upper body to really have the focus and react as fast as I need it to. So the last focus I want you to think about when having a strong counter volley is not taking too big of a backswing. So we want to have a nice compact swing. A lot of players think when they take that big backswing that they're generating more power. However, this is counterproductive, because what happens when we take that big backswing is it actually messes up our timing. Instead, you want to use your opponent's pace by having a nice compact backswing. Focus on having good timing and getting the ball down at their feet. A good rule of thumb is we don't want our paddle crossing our shoulder. So the second we cross our shoulder, our swing's too big. We want to keep our elbows in, and we don't want our paddle to lag back here. We want to keep it nice and in front of us. Another shot that's crucial for you to have in 2025 is going to be the two-handed backhand dink and speed up. While many players have the forehand dink or the forehand topspin speed up, not many players have the backhand dink and the backhand speed up because they use a backhand dink slice. What this does is it creates a vulnerability on your backhand side due to a lack of options. However, people are picking up on this, especially the top players, and they're doing what you need to do, which is implementing the two-handed backhand dink or attack. Let's break it down. For the two-handed backhand dink or speed up, the first thing we have to think about is positioning. When we're hitting this shot, we need to make sure that we're behind the ball and facing the net. A lot of people think that you're supposed to turn when hitting this shot. However, I think this is counterproductive because we need to be ready for the next shot. So if we hit this with an open stance and we're facing our opponent, we're always ready for the counter. Another thing is we want to get our left leg here behind that ball. So if I'm pulled out wide here, I'm going to plant this leg before hitting the shot. And what this allows me is options. I can hit a cross-court dink here. I can hit a down the line speed up. I can hit a down the middle speed up. And from there, I really get to exploit my opponents. So here's an example of me getting my left leg behind the ball and getting in good position for each shot. So each time I hit this ball, I'm getting my left leg behind the ball. And from here, I can really do any shot I need, and it allows me my options. So now let's break down the technique all the way to the grip. The grip's gonna be a continental grip, which is what most players use at the kitchen line. And then we're gonna add our left hand, our non-dominant hand, on top of our other hand. We wanna make sure our hands are connected. It's okay if this left hand is coming up the back of the paddle. Next, our base. We wanna have that nice low base. We're already in good position with our left leg behind that ball. And lastly, we wanna focus on having a compact swing. So we're not trying to do too big of a swing from this position. We really want it to be nice and compact. We don't want it to cross our hip here. So when I'm hitting this shot, it's not gonna be passing my hip here. Last thing I wanna add, keep a nice locked grip. This is gonna be really important for consistency and accuracy. When you have that locked grip, you can cup the ball a lot more, which is gonna be better for the dinks and hitting your spots. If you're speeding up, then what you're gonna do is you're gonna release that locked grip at the last second so your opponents don't know it's coming, and then you can create more spin and attack them better. Our last focus for the two-handed backhand dink or speed up is gonna be extension towards our target. The main thing to focus on when extending towards your target is using this left arm here. So righties are gonna want to use their right arm a lot. However, when you are hitting from that backhand side, you really wanna be focusing on extending from the left arm. Also, when you decide that you're gonna hit a two-handed backhand dink or speed up, you're really gonna wanna extend your left arm towards your target. So if I'm hitting cross court, this left arm here is gonna come this way, and if I'm hitting down the line, it's gonna go out this way. So use that left arm to really guide where you're hitting the shot, and you'll have a lot of success with this. So that's the backhand dink. We've now turned our backhand side from a liability into an asset. Another thing I will say about this shot, it does not come overnight, so make sure to keep practicing this in your games, in your drill sessions. It's something that takes a lot of discipline as well. You're gonna have to focus on the right mechanics. I'm gonna do a breakdown of this entire shot very soon in another video, so make sure to subscribe to wait for that. If you wanna get ahead of your competition in 2025, you need to have a solid and effective return. Players are using their serve as a weapon and serving much more aggressively. We need to counteract this and stop giving away free points. Not only is this gonna make your life easier, but your partner's gonna thank you for not leaving short, high returns that get them killed. Having a great return makes it harder for your opponents to play aggressive off the bat. So let me show you how to do this. So the first thing I want you to focus about when hitting a good return is trying to generate your power from forward momentum rather than taking a big backswing. So many times when someone hits a big serve, we try to match this power with a big backswing. Similar to the counter volley, this is naturally how we try to generate more power. But instead, you need to focus on using forward momentum to match this power rather than a big backswing. We actually want a compact backswing. What forward momentum does is it allows us to transfer our weight naturally forward and get to the kitchen line faster without having to take a big backswing that messes up our timing. Instead, we want to use a compact swing with that forward momentum, and that's going to be the best formula for success. So here's a bad example of taking too big of a backswing on the return. So what that does is I'm catching the ball late, and if I'm trying to match that with forward momentum, I'm gonna be overrunning my swing, which happens to so many people. Now, here's gonna be a good example of me taking a compact backswing and using my forward momentum to get up to the kitchen line. So Rex hit a good deep serve there, and instead of taking a big backswing, I used a nice compact backswing matched with forward momentum, which got me enough power, plus got me up to the kitchen line sooner. So the second part of a good return is making sure that we're aiming deep in the court. What this is gonna do is set our point up in a good position, because we're gonna be not dealing with a short return, which they're able to attack, but instead they're gonna be pushed back and we're gonna have the forward momentum. So we wanna be aiming in the back third of our opponent's court. So that's gonna be this area right here, rather than aiming in this area right here. The question for a deep return is, how do we get that return to go deeper? Because a lot of people struggle with getting that deep return, even though they know they're supposed to do that. The key is trajectory. Matched with that forward momentum, having a good trajectory is gonna get that ball to go deeper. And what I mean by trajectory is, a lot of people think we're supposed to aim this high over the net on the return, right? You hear low, hard return. Instead, you wanna bring that ball a little higher so it travels longer and aims deeper. What this is gonna do as well is keep the ball in the air longer, which is gonna give us more time to get up to that kitchen line. So bring that return higher, and if you're gonna miss long. So what we want to do is use our forward momentum, move forward, and at the same time aim a little higher over the net, which is going to take that ball in the air longer and give us a deeper trajectory. This is going to give us more time to get up to the kitchen line, and our opponent is going to struggle because they're having to hit their aggressive ball from deeper in the court rather than a short ball that crushes us or our opponent. So the last part to hitting a solid return is a no-brainer, but I just don't see it that often, and that's going to be targeting the weaker player. So many times I see players target both players and mix it up when clearly one player struggles with their third shots more than the other. Let's say one player has a really good third shot drive while the other one struggles with their third shot drop. Clearly you want to target that person who struggles, but you want to go there every single time. You want to make sure that you're exploiting that person's weakness and that team's weakness to your advantage. I'm really passionate about giving you guys helpful, accurate information on how to improve your pickleball game, especially moving into the new year. These shots are going to be focuses I want you to think about. Make sure you subscribe as it lets me know that this content is helpful for you. Also comment anything you want me to touch on below. If you bump into me at a professional tournament or at a PPA tournament, make sure you say hi as I love meeting all you guys. I'll see you in the next one.